A long time ago, I decided that I was not going to make a video about feminism because I thought that there were so many people out there doing a good job already, and they still are. I changed my mind today because I saw two videos that turned my stomach from two different people, and I decided that I cannot keep silent on this one anymore. Now, originally, I was going to make two separate videos. I'm going to make one big one instead. So here we go. Here we have a person who goes by the name of Riley J. Dennis, a feminist, and she is going to give us a prime example of how not to be in society. You see, people like this have a flawed view right from the start. They see things that are not there, and they will do anything within their power to get everyone else to adapt to their way of life and to see the things that they see. That is a problem because people like this do not care about diversity, and they think that independent thinking is absolutely horrible. You have to think the way that they do, and you have to see things the way that they do. Otherwise, it is a problem. Any reasoning that you bring to the table is out of the question completely. People like Riley J. Dennis try to break others down, and they try to tell them how they are going to feel and again what choices they are going to make. Feminists like this will never learn anything because they don't want things to be different. They do not want to make the effort to think and solve problems like everyone else. It's like a 2-year-old in a candy store screaming for a candy on the top shelf. They will continue to scream and complain until they get their way. They do not want to make the effort to grow with people and to accept people and things that are different. It seems, at least to me, that they are like the Borg and they want everyone to assimilate. Anyway, that is enough of this little rant. Let's get to the video.
Would you date someone who's trans? Would you date someone who's black? Would you date someone who's fat? Would you date someone who's disabled?
Yes, I would, and in some of those cases I have. So what is your point?
Now, honestly, I don't know what your answer is to those questions, but I've met a surprising number of people who would say no to all or at least some of them.
I don't know why the number of people would be surprising to you. It's normal.
Their argument is that it's just a preference and that you can't control who you're attracted to. I think most of the time that this is brought up, it's in regards to race.
You are wrong. First of all, I personally think that people cannot control who they are attracted to. The attraction itself is not only confined to race. Well, some of it may be, and I want to put emphasis on some, only because of the regressive thought processes that they have been indoctrinated with, i.e. prejudices and racism, etc., etc. Your argument still doesn't hold up because the sample size is too small. In the extremely larger cases, it goes beyond race. And to be honest with you, I don't like using the word race because to me, it is nothing more than a social construct only designed to divide us even further. So try using human being.
But in this video, I want to talk about our other biases. Let's start with trans people. Would you date a trans person, honestly? Think about it for a second. Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
I see no evidence for your argument here at all in any way, shape, or form. Can you read people's minds and instantly know what they are thinking? I don't think so. It seems to me that all you have is a subjective opinion that is not backed up with any facts. Take me for example. I'm not attracted to you, and trust me, it has nothing to do with discrimination or your looks. It has everything to do with your attitude and the way that you're sending out information to people, which is dishonest, by the way. Don't believe me? Look at the like to dislike ratio on your video. I mean, it seems to me that people don't like you very well, and after seeing your video, I could see why that is the case.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're a horrible person who hates trans people.
You might as well be saying it. I mean, you're saying that I'm discriminating against you simply because I'm not attracted to you.
There was probably a time in my life when I said I wouldn't date a trans person, but since then I've thought critically about it and changed my mind.
Well, congratulations, I am happy for you. But you cannot and will not control how other people are attracted to each other. It doesn't work that way. I know that that is something that's probably going to be hard for you to deal with, but you have to deal with it.
Could sit here and show you photos of conventionally attractive trans people. There are definitely trans people who you would never know are trans unless they told you, because they pass for cis. And that might convince some of you. But I think arguing that you would only like a trans person if you didn't know they were trans is a poor argument.
Out of everybody that I have associated with in my life and online, I have never seen anyone make that argument in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it seems to me that you're trying to throw everything against the wall just to see what sticks.
I think you could be attracted to any trans person, whether they pass or not. I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating a trans person is that they won't have the genitals that they expect. Because we associate penises with men and vaginas with women, some people think they could never date a trans man with a vagina or a trans woman with a penis. But I think that people are more than their genitals. I think that you could feel attraction to someone without knowing what's between their legs. And if you were to say that you're only attracted to people with vaginas or people with penises, it really feels like you're reducing people just to their genitals. You're kind of objectifying them, but you're thinking of them more as genitals than objects, so I guess you're kind of genitalifying them?
Now, let me ask you a question here, and please be honest with me. Do you enjoy making this stuff up as you go along?
Anyway, my point is, we have implicit biases that we were raised with or that we developed over time, and they can be hard to get rid of. And I think this can be especially prominent within the queer community. Gay men often pride themselves on being disgusted by vaginas, and the same goes for lesbian women with penises. It's difficult because some queer people have built their sexual identities on these repulsions, but I don't think they're innate at all. If you met someone who was extremely attractive, had a great personality, but didn't have the genitals that you wanted, you might be surprised to find that it isn't a deal breaker.
So basically what you're doing here is asking people to go against their sexual orientation because you think it is wrong to get rejected as a trans person. That sounds a little selfish to me.
As someone who is trans and gay, sometimes people ask me, with a very accusatory tone, if I would date a girl with a penis. Because there's this stereotype that trans lesbians are just predatory cis men creeping on cis women. But the thing is, I absolutely could be attracted to a woman with a penis. I could be attracted to any woman, cis or trans.
Again, congratulations, but let me ask you a question because I am actually having trouble understanding something here. You are saying that you are gay, that you are a lesbian. That is your sexual orientation. How can you date someone with a penis? Let me ask you another question. How would you get intimate with someone if they had a penis? Let me ask you a third question. Wouldn't that make you bisexual instead of being a lesbian?
Gay conversion therapy has been proven not to work.
Right, but it seems to me that you're trying to implement your own version of therapy. And I have news for you, it's not going to work.
Saying that you're not attracted to fat people isn't innate. It's informed by a society that tells you that being thin is ideal. Everything in the media you consume is bombarding you with messages that skinny is beautiful and fat is ugly. And even the nicest of people absorb these messages to some degree.
Honestly, where do you get your information from? Because in all honesty, I know a lot of women within movies and magazines, etc., that are big. I think you get your information from Tumblr, but we'll keep that a secret.
And lastly, let's talk about disabled people. Disabilities come in a very wide range, from being deaf to being in a wheelchair to only having one arm, and I think it's pretty ridiculous to say that you couldn't be attracted to any person who has any of those disabilities. Disabilities can happen to anyone. Someone you're extremely attracted to today could become disabled tomorrow, and that shouldn't make your attraction to them disappear. Though if it does, it might not be because of them, but rather because you have some preconceived ideas about disabled people that are just inaccurate and harmful.
I am going to be honest with you when I say that this has got to be some of the most ridiculous nonsense that I have ever heard in my entire life. It is not ridiculous to not be attracted to people with disabilities. People have a right to be naturally attracted to whoever they want. It has nothing to do with bigotry, discrimination, and whatever else you are talking about. You are asking people to go against their natural traits as human beings. That within itself is ridiculous. I know a lot of people, and I know that these people know a lot of people that would still be attracted to their partners if they became disabled. There are some people out there that would probably lose their attraction to their partner if they were disabled, but that doesn't make them less human. It's like you're condemning someone for their natural reaction to something. You are, in all actuality, denying them their humanity. What does that make you look like?
Unsurprisingly, this is another case of the media telling you that a certain group isn't attractive. Disabled people are rarely romantic leads. Their stories in movies and TV shows are often tragic, but that doesn't reflect the reality that disabled people can be happy and have dating lives and be attractive. Now, if you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be attracted to this fat person or that trans person or that disabled person.
Can someone say hypocrisy? You know, guys, I think that I could have addressed a little more, but I think that we got this situation all figured out, basically. We have loads of hypocrisy, double standards, false equivalence, you name it. If you reject a trans woman or trans man, you're horrible. If a lesbian rejects a gay man, she's horrible, and vice versa. If you're just simply not attracted to anyone, you're horrible. The funny thing is, we will never see her apply these standards to herself if she is not attracted to someone, and that's what makes me laugh.